The author's description of David Lewis mentions all of the following except what? He often imagined things that other people wished were real. This is not right, right? If he gave the impression, he said he had no idea what possible worlds are like in detail, and if he gave the impression that he knew about them in detail, it was just using his imagination, and to say things that people wanted to hear, but something that would not be true. So A is not the answer. No, A is wrong. So A is the answer. All right. He felt that the number of other worlds in the universe was limitless. This is right, right? Because Lois argued that there were infinite number of possible worlds. So it's infinite means limitless. So this is right. He was the most prominent individual among the possibilists. Is this right? What does prominent mean? Prominent means very important or noticeable. The main supporter of modal realism and possible worlds was David Lewis, so this is right. He thought that non-actual objects could be present in other locations. Is this right? Right. He said that non-actual objects were simply just not there, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist somewhere else. So this is right. So what is the answer? The answer is A. Okay. Look at the four squares that indicate where the following sentence could be added to the passage. In that regard, what does that mean? In that aspect, all right? What Lewis was postulating was deemed to be unnecessarily complicated and therefore incorrect. Postulate means to suppose or assume something as the basis of a theory or an argument or a calculation. Okay. The similar word that we saw is what? Posit. This is similar to postulate. Okay. So what Lewis used as the basis of his idea was deemed to be, means was thought to be, unnecessarily complicated and therefore incorrect. So where? In that regard, so in that aspect, what Lewis was using as the basis was unnecessarily complicated, so it's not true. So in that aspect, so that that aspect has to be in the front before this sentence. So where would it best fit? Occam's razor is that aspect. Do you understand? Explaining a theory is best done by reducing the elements to only what is needed. In other words, arguments should be kept as simple as possible. This is an addition to this sentence before. So, although he had criticism, he never gave up his belief in possible worlds. So, this is about a different thing. So this sentence would best fit here. which is the third square. Okay, after the idea of Occam's razor. Do you understand what I'm saying? All right. Select the appropriate sentences from the answer choices and match them to the philosophical idea to which they relate. Two of the answer choices will not be used. It's a philosophical mystery that people are still trying to solve. There were no mentioning of this in the passage, so we're not gonna use one. Its adherents claim that all that can ever be is what exists in the real world. Well, all that can ever be is what exists in the real world. What is adherent? Adherent is someone that supports an idea. Adhere means to stick to something, all right? So, are there actualism or it says positivism here, but it's possibilism, so this is wrong. The book is wrong. Possibilism. So where does this go to? All that can ever be is what exists, right? Is number 2. Why? Where could you find this? The actualist basic principle is that there's nothing which is not actual. So, number 3, it argues that it is possible for worlds to exist in other locations. This is what positivism. No, possibilism. 3 goes here. Where can you find this one? Lewis is the proponent of modal realism and possible worlds, and he believed, he said, non-actual objects were simply just not there, but it doesn't mean that they don't exist somewhere else. So this is actualism. No, possibilism, all right? Some believe that other worlds only existed in the abstract. In the abstract means in the abstract world, all right? Some believe that other worlds only existed in the abstract world. Who was that? If you look at the actualist reaction, one of them were supporting the idea of possible worlds by thinking that possible worlds were theoretical objects that actually existed but in abstract form, all right? So this goes to who? The actualists who supported Lewis's idea. It argues its beliefs by trying to apply Occam's razor against its opponents. So who uses Occam's razor? The other main argument against him. So this was the actualists against who? David Lewis, right? And they said that his idea violates the premise of Occam's razor. So this goes to actualists who did not support, who opposed Lewis. It utilizes logical reasoning that is based upon prior experiences. Which was that? The possibilists, right? This is the possibilists' explanation. There's a chance that something could be true based on one's previous experiences. So this goes to Possibilists. It's a relatively new theory, first promulgated around 2001. What does promulgate mean? Promulgate means to be widely known. Do you understand? First promulgated around 2001. Where's 2001? 2001 is in the passage, but it's the year when Lewis never changed his belief in possible worlds and said that it was true until his death in 2001. So 2001 was the death of Lewis, and not the promulgating of the new theory. So we're not going to use 7. So the answer would be this. Do you understand the passage? Alright, I guess this passage was very notional, so maybe it's not very very interesting, because these thoughts are not the thoughts that the people who live our time would be interested in. So it would not be very interesting for you, but we have dealt with it. So see you next time.